I was born Liu Yang, which is my Chinese name. Liu is my last name. Yang is my first name. It means the sun in the sky. I started calling myself Tracy when I was in college. I was crazy about basketball and worshipped this NBA player named Tracy. So I just picked Tracy as my English name. Speaking of names, there has been a recent incident that occurred in the dormitories in Columbia University in New York, where every student write his or her name down on a piece of paper and put it on the door so people know who lives in which room. And one day, many students woke up realizing that the pieces of paper were missing. Someone took them. And all these students were either from China with Chinese-sounding names. So it's probably racially targeted. However, some Chinese students were spared because they were like me, going by their English names, and the culprit couldn't tell that they were Chinese. So they were having survivor guilt. It almost sounds like they changed their name to conceal their Chinese identity so they could live in America, even though it couldn't be further from the case. It reminds me of not long after I came to America. I was telling this old brown guy, my name is Tracy, and he asked, no, what's your real name? And my real name? You mean my Chinese name? He said, yes. I said, Liu Yang. And he said, why don't you use it? I said, because you guys couldn't pronounce it. He said, that's not true. Say it again. So I spelled it out. Liuyang, Liu Yang. And he said, Liu Yang? See, it's not that hard. Whatever. And then he added, don't forget your Chinese root. I was thinking to myself, what's that supposed to mean? Who does he think he is? I really didn't get what he was trying to say, because I was literally fresh off the boat. I was working hard so I could stay in this country, and now he's telling me to not to forget my Chinese root. Is he telling me nicely to go back to China? It's not my intention to discuss whether or not Chinese people should adopt English names after they come to America. Each person could have a different opinion. There's no right or wrong. But I would like to share with you what it's like to have two names and my journey from Liu Yang, who was born and raised in China, and Tracy, who's living and working in San Jose. To tell the truth, I like my English name so much better than my Chinese name. I know it sounds self-hating, but hear me out. There aren't so many Chinese guys named Tracy. I'm the only one. And it makes me feel special. And I love explaining to confused strangers how Tracy is not necessarily a girl's name. I just name myself after a basketball player. On the other hand, Liu Yang is such a common name in China. Growing up, I always have somebody by the same name in my class. So I was referred to as Liu Yang the boy, Liu Yang number 2, and little Liu Yang, because I was the younger one. Back in college, there were 3 Liu Yangs in our department. All 3 of us were on the basketball team. And Captain would love to put all 3 of us on the floor at the same time, and then pretend to be the commentator. He would be like, Liu Yang threw the basket. He missed. Liu Yang got the rebound. Liu Yang passed the ball to Liu Yang. Liu Yang drove to the basket. Liu Yang scored. Liu Yang was everywhere. And I was always a little embarrassed to tell people my name, because the person would be like, hey, I know another Liu Yang. And I wanted to say, big deal, I know more than you. I have been Liu Yang for the first 20 years of my life. To my parents, my childhood friends, my classmates, I'm Liu Yang. They don't know who Tracy is. But I've been Tracy for the past 10 years in my life. To my coworkers, my American friends, I'm Tracy. They don't know who Liu Yang is. I have to remind the mail person in my company not to throw away any mail addressed to Liu Yang, please. And he thinks Liu Yang is my brother, and I was so I have these 2 identities. It's like there are 2 people living in my body. There's Liu Yang. Liu Yang speaks Chinese. Liu Yang never left China. Liu Yang loves going to hot pot and karaoke with his friends. And then there's Tracy. Tracy speaks English. Tracy lives in San Jose. Tracy goes to the movies and the gym by himself. And I constantly toggle between these 2 roles, depending on who I'm with and who I'm talking to. But don't get me wrong, I have no problem doing that. I love talking to Liu Yang's friends about this Tracy I've become. And I enjoy reminiscing about what Liu Yang has done with Tracy's friends. I embrace both Liu Yang and Tracy. Liu Yang represents more of my past, and Tracy represents more of the present. I know as time goes by, I'll probably be Tracy more and more, but I will never forget the long and memorable journey Liu Yang has taken to become the person that's standing in front of you today. I think now I understand what the old black guy meant when he said, don't forget your Chinese root. And next time I see him, I'll tell him, don't you worry. You can take the boy out of China, but you cannot take China out of the boy. Liu Yang or Tracy, I carry my root on my shoulder. I keep it in my head, and I treasure it in my heart. Thank you.